Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Crime Center. Thank you for joining this video today. Thank you for your likes, subscriptions, comments, and share. Without y'all, I would be absolutely nothing. With y'all, I can go all the way to the top. So before we get into the video, please hit that like and subscribe and kick back to hear these stories. So I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about the prison time that I did. And I don't know what it is people are interested about, but I'll give you what you want. First things first, you can clearly see I have a mask on. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want the unwanted attention. Neither do my kids, my family. So we thought it was best for me to just do something like this with a mask on. Number two, if I were to get, let's say, famous, where people notice me, in the place where I live at, it's probably not a good thing. They think I'll have money and nothing good comes out of that. And there's some savages around here. So that's the reason for the mask, in case anybody was wondering. So I did 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. 10 long years. My first time getting locked up was at the Garza East and Garza West my first year. And those are transfer facilities. Basically, I believe it was 2 years that you can be there before you get transferred to a real unit. A lot of people who may have had less than 2 years, that's all they saw, and then they went home. Me, with a 10-year sentence, I had to go in, and I think I did about a year and a half altogether at both those units before I got shipped to my real unit. Garza East, I believe, was the first one. I ended up getting shipped from there for getting into an altercation with the prison guard. It was over something stupid. I was just locked up. I hear all these stories about me having to assert my dominance. So he tried taking something from me. I snatched it back, threw it in his face, got locked up, got shipped next door to the Garza West. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of separate videos. I'm gonna try to go in order from when I started. Sometimes I may not, but I'm gonna try my best to keep it in order. So the first thing you do when you get to the unit, you have to go through orientation. That means you have to get your bedroll, all your hygiene that they give you, blankets, pants, shirts, things like that. And when I say hygiene, it's not what you're thinking probably. It's a real little small bar of soap, like the little hotel soaps. Some tooth powder in place of toothpaste, and a small little brown toothbrush that you can't turn into a shank. So once you do that, they're doing all kinds of paperwork, trying to figure out where they're going to put you, where you fit in best. They don't want you going and harming somebody weaker with a small sentence, or they don't want you going in there and getting taken advantage of. So classification tries to put you where they think it's best for everybody to be safe. If you got like a life sentence, some real serious assaults or something, they'll try to put you together with those same people and about the same amount of time and characteristics. It doesn't always work that way, but they try their best. I'm guessing. I don't know if they really do try or not, but because sometimes we had some wild things in there where guys just didn't belong. So anyways, after you do that, it takes about a day, the whole day, and then finally you're taken to your dorm. It's not a cell, it's an open dorm. Can't remember how many bunks was in there, but it was a lot. And then welcome to prison. This is where you're going to be at for the remainder of your time until you get shipped to a real unit. And by a real unit, you have people there who are incarcerated for a while. You have a lot of life sentences. You could be inside of a dorm with cells, 2 people to a cell, and it's probably not going to be like how they do it at orientation. You're going to be mixed in with some real killers, some real sneaky people, thieves, all that. So my first time going in, I remember a lot of people used to tell me a whole bunch of stories when I was in the county jail. Oh, when you first go in, you got to find the biggest person. You have to go and try to knock them out so that way everybody will see that you're tough and they won't mess with you. That's stupid. Don't do that. You might end up hitting somebody that you're going to regret hitting, not because he'll beat you up, but because it's gang infested in prison. And you don't want to hit somebody who's a gang member and they're just going to totally destroy you. I don't know why people tell others that. They should really tell them something that would be helpful. But I got told a lot of things like that. And when I got to prison, it was nothing like how they said. I was going to walk in there and people were going to come up to me and they wanted to fight and this and that. No, your own people are going to walk up to you. If you're Mexican, a Mexican's going to walk up to you. If you're black, black's going to walk up to you. And the same thing for whites. So I don't know how it is for the black and whites, but for the Mexicans, a guy walked up to me, asked me where I was from, who do I run with? In other words, am I gang related? How long do I got? What am I locked up for? Ask you a whole bunch of questions, you answer them, and then that's it. They'll let you put your stuff up, put your bunk, whatever else that you got in your locker. And either right after that or sometime later that day, you got to do what's called a heart check, a quota check. So you'll go there. If you're gang related, it depends on what that gang's policies are when it comes to doing quota checks. If you're a solo, it might be a little bit different. When I went in, I didn't run with anything. So I got my quota checked by 2 people. I'm not even sure if they were gang related or not, or with a tongo, or any of that, but I got my quota checked with one other person, one-on-one. Fought, didn't take longer than, 30 seconds probably. It feels like you were fighting for like an hour, but it's really very quick. And then I went about my business, didn't get into things I wasn't supposed to get into, kept to myself, besides the select few that I would talk to, and you just do your time. As long as you're not going in there with messed up charges or coming from another unit where you messed somebody over and thought you were going to get away, you'll be all right. I know a lot of people first going into prison, they have no idea what to expect, what to think, and it can be overwhelming. I remember being scared at times, not like scared, but like, because I didn't know what the deal was. You don't know what to expect. People are telling you they're going to come out with these 9-foot knives and they're going to stab you with a sword, and so you don't know what to believe if you've never been there. If you go and you don't have messed up charges like those of a sexual nature, you'll be fine. I don't think you want to go in there with any kind of child abuse or anything either. But I mean, if that's what you did, that's what you did. I don't know your story, but I don't mess with people like that. It's just certain people that you stay away from, and you just don't mess with them. That's just what it is, like straight up. So in prison, in Texas anyways, I'm not speaking for any other prisons outside of the state, you're gonna go and you're gonna follow or abide by the rules there. Every dorm has rules. There's one gang who there's more of, who's gonna run the dorm, or at least co-run the dorm with whoever other gang members in there. It just depends. It's like really weird. I'll explain that more in later videos. But it's gang related, big time. And it's racist, big time. So it doesn't matter if you're not racist, whatever, you're gonna have to get with the program, or you're gonna get taken up out of there. Which means they're gonna beat you up, smash you out, and send you on your way. And you're gonna have a lot of problems after that. So I remember in the Texas prison, all the ones that I went to, it was a majority of Mexican and blacks. There was white people, but not like a whole bunch of them. Not the units I was in. And like, no disrespect to anybody, because that's not what I intend to do with these videos, but you had the whites who were at the bottom of the totem pole. Like they were dead last. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this before, but a lot of the white dudes messed it up for the rest of the white dudes. They didn't want to fight, so people would take advantage of them, beat them up, take their commissary, make them pay money, turn them into punks, what I mean by that is they would make them into a female. And they kind of ruined it for the white people who would go in there, who let their nuts hang and do their thing like they're supposed to do. But because there was so many Mexicans and so many blacks in there, you usually have 2 TVs in a dorm. The Mexicans would take one, the blacks would take one, and the benches that were in front of that would be for whoever's TV it was. The showers were split in half. You couldn't go shower inside of a black shower. They couldn't shower in a Mexican shower. Everything was very segregated. That goes for the restrooms, all of that. It's just what it was. And the whites had to use to get in where they fit in. They had to go ask a Mexican or a black dude if it was okay to take a shower, if it was okay to sit down at the bench and watch their TV, and stuff like that. And, you know, it was kind of sad, because being out here, I'm pretty sure 90% of those people didn't have a racist bone in their body, but prison will make you that way. It'll force you to get with the program, like I keep saying. And it's more like a self-preservation thing. You're either going to get with it or you're going to get dealt with. So I remember getting in there, trying to adjust to that kind of stuff, and it was really weird. They got crazy times that you eat. Like in the morning, you'll go to breakfast like at 5 in the morning, and then you'll eat like at 10:30, 11 for lunch, and then like anywhere from 3:30 to 5, you're gonna eat dinner, and then you have from 5 all the way till 5 again to hear and feel your stomach grumble. You get 3 meals a day, but it's hardly anything. You're going to be very hungry. The food that they give you, that tray would be probably what they serve the kids in school. It was very small portions. They're trying to feed a lot of men in there, so they don't have the money to feed you big old meals, and that's just what it was. Like, once you're in prison, you understand that, and you accept it. You don't have a choice. So, you know, commissary is a very important thing in there. That's for the people who have family, wife, girlfriend, anybody that can send them money. They get that money, go to commissary. You could get soups, chips, instant beans and rice, tortillas, all kinds of things. You can make spreads. I'll do a video on that one time so people could see what the spreads look like. And you eat that at nighttime. You usually get with a couple of other people and y'all pitch in, make a big old meal, eat, and your stomach's about to bust. You go to bed and you could actually sleep because your stomach ain't touching your backbone. It's not very difficult when you first get locked up. It's really not. There's really nothing to be scared of. I know sometimes the unknown can be scary, but there's nothing to be scared of. You go in there and all you got to do is be a man. You're a man, act like a man, carry yourself like a man, be a man. And you don't have to worry about anything. As long as you're respectful to others, you're not walking around with your chest puffed out trying to make everybody seem like you're tough. That's one of the number one things that'll get you smashed on in there. You just do your time, be respectful, and stay out of stuff that is not your business. If you weren't a gang member out on the street, don't go in there trying to be a gang member thinking it's going to be protection. It's not. It may be for a little while, but there's always so many race riots and other people from other gangs calling out people from other gangs. If something happens to one guy in your gang, then it goes back on every member of that gang. So mind your business, do your time, be respectful, and you'll be fine. It's really not that hard. Now, I do have a bunch of stories, like a lot happens in 10 years that I will eventually tell. But today I just want to give a small introduction to what prison is. And I've basically told you what it felt like going in, the little process before you go to your dorms, how the meal times are, how the other people are, how things are segregated. So what else could I tell you that y'all would be interested in for just the beginning? Oh, the rec yard. The rec yard is where a lot of things go down. You could be out there and you could be, playing handball, basketball, lifting weights. But that's a place where people go out to really handle their business, especially gang members. So say there's a gang in the dorm I was in and they wanted to get a hold of somebody, but they can't unless he goes to rec. Well, that's their place that they're going to choose to get him, on the rec yard. Because when you first walk into the building, right in front of you is a fishbowl. That's where the guard's at, or two. They have all their computers, like little electrical boards to control all the doors, lock things up, open your cells, all that. And that's right in the middle. Going all the way around them in a circle is 3 dorms. And I think it was 200 and something people per dorm. I really don't remember. When I was in prison, this was 2004, all the way up till 2014. And I don't know how much it's changed since then. I just know that I wanted to, tell my stories because I see a lot of people on YouTube that I watch and enjoy their content that talk about the prisons where they're from or talk about other prisons, but they really don't ever talk about Texas prisons. The only guy that I know of 100% for sure that does Texas content, that's the only one that I know. I'm not going to mention his name, but that's the only one I've ever seen. So if there is a bunch of people out there doing Texas content, that's cool. More content for y'all to watch. But I've only seen one guy, so I decided, get out here and do it. And it's always been something that I was going to do. That content was always going to be something that I did. But I didn't want to start off that way because I see a lot of people who start off as a channel that only talks about prison. And then when they try to do new stuff, nobody likes it. They want them to stay with the prison stories. So I started off with crime, like true crime stories and stuff that really interests me. So that way, when I do come out with my prison videos like this one, it's not going to be that much of a shock, because I don't want to just be a prison channel. The whole reason I even got into doing this is because I like to entertain people. I always liked video production, storytelling, and I don't know how good I'm telling stories, but I'm trying. I just started out, so I still get kind of nervous behind a camera. And, I'm just going to put these videos out, and I'm going to try my best to do better every single time. And if you all want to give me some feedback, feel more than free to do that. Just please keep it respectful. And we don't have any problems. So, in Texas prisons, you got what are called tangos. Tango. So from what I understood being in there were groups of people from certain cities that formed not into a gang, but into a group to protect themselves from gangs. Like here in Texas, the main ones are the Mexican Mafia, Texas Syndicate. You have your AB or ABT, I think it is, Aryan Brotherhood, Texas. Those are like the three main ones, especially when I was in prison. Those were the three main ones. Those were the ones, if they had people in a dorm, they were going to run that dorm, or at least think that they were running that dorm. But then you had the tangos. And down here in Texas, I believe I was always locked up with the tango from Houston. And when I say Houston, it's a bigger group. It's Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. They click together. They're the biggest one. Their motto is, if you ain't blasting, you ain't lasting. Because it's the Houston Tango Blast. And then you got the one from San Antonio, the Orejons. They're really big. Not as big as the Houston one, but they're big. Like, they'll give them a run for their money. You have all the other places like El Paso, Corpus Christi, the Valley. There's ones from all over the place, but you're going to go, and if you want to join that, you're going to get into the city where you were living. Or maybe you grew up in Dallas, but now you live in Corpus. I guess you can choose whichever one you have more love for. I saw that a lot. Some people from Corpus, oh yeah, I was living in Houston, but then I moved down here and I got locked up, and they would get with Houston. But they say that they were made to protect themselves from gangs. In my humble, respectful opinion, I think that's what they ended up becoming. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, a bad thing. Everybody feels their own way about it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful about it. That's just how it is. I feel like they ended up becoming the gangs, especially now. I think they leave prison and, they still stay with that. It was supposed to just be a prison thing from what I understood. And then when you got out, that was it. But hey, more power to everybody who does what they do. They're not a group to be messed with. All that Mexican Mafia that was running stuff, it's not really like that. I mean, maybe at some units it is, but there's so many tangos that it just doesn't work like that no more. Maybe it used to back in the days, but now it doesn't. And now it's divided more evenly. You have your gangs who are considered families, and then you got your other gangs that are tangos from certain cities. And there's a bunch of stories that I have behind that. There's a lot of stories to tell, because when the Houston Tango Blast says, if you ain't blasting, you ain't lasting, I got a bunch of stories, a lot, that will, kind of back that comment up. but you know that's a motto of theirs. It's you're not really not gonna last. But then again, you really might not, because when it all comes down to it, they were the biggest ones and they had the numbers. Don't get me wrong, numbers have never scared anybody away, but they got the numbers. So I think next time I do a video, I'm gonna talk about the tangos and the gangs. There's so many stories to tell, and it doesn't have to just be about the gangs. There's a lot of stories of people who are not gang related. So then I could tell you about the guards, how they were, how things were ran. It'll be a big help if y'all can send me questions to what y'all want to know. I would like to do a question and answer before I start getting into the stories, just so that way y'all can get all the information that you're interested in. And from as many requests as I was getting to do prison stories, there's a lot that y'all want to know. So go ahead and get down in that comment section, put your questions there. I go and I try to read all the comments. I really try my best, and when I see what y'all are asking for in my next video, I'll do the question and answer, and then I'll tell you a little more about prison, and we'll go from there. Like I said, I'm just starting. I'm new, fairly new. I got 21 videos on my channel that y'all can go check out. That would be much appreciated, to show me a little bit of love, put some likes, some more subscriptions. So there's 21 videos for y'all to go check out. And from that 21, I've learned something new every video. And I want to continue to do that. And I want to entertain y'all. I want to inform y'all, because some of it's entertaining because people like crime for some reason. Like a crime story of somebody getting, finished off, I guess I could say. But I want to also give you a bunch of information, 100% accurate, true information. So go ahead and check the videos out. Stick around for new videos. I want to tell everybody out there who supports me, thank you very much. You're much appreciated. And like I said, I can't do anything without y'all. This is really just a passion of mine, and I really want it to get bigger than it is. And I want to entertain y'all, inform y'all. Y'all could request videos, I'll do them. Anything crime related, I'll do it. That's about it. So I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. I just wanted to get on camera and talk a little bit. For those of you who haven't done it, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you can be one of the first to be notified when I come out with a new video, and share with all your friends, your family, everybody. And get down there in that comment section and tell me what you want to know. Thank you for coming and watching this video on Crime Center today. Much appreciated. Thank you for the love. Until next time, stay tuned.